Is getting over the past really the best thing for you? Let's talk about it. What's going on, Closer to God Ministries? Welcome back to another righteous, spirit-filled episode. Today, I hope to get you closer to the truth, closer to the kingdom, and closer to God's will. Man, oftentimes, there are people around you that will say this very common phrase and tell you that you need to get over the past, you need to move on. And I'm going to tell you today that that's oftentimes not the case and definitely not going to be beneficial to you, because oftentimes, there's been a lot of trials, a lot of tests, a lot of tribulations that we haven't yet gained understanding from. And if we just move on to the next thing, if we move on to the next test, the next tribulation, ultimately you still are lost in your journey of life and understanding life, and moving on wasn't the best thing from you. There's certain instances dealing with like childhood trauma, any kind of PTSD, any kind of traumatic situation that, people experience in their life, whether it be kids, teenagers, adults, most importantly. But if you experience these things as a kid, you never address them and never get understanding, chances are this thing is going to rear its head at some point in your adult life. And you're going to wonder why all of a sudden, you're having to deal with a situation that happened so long ago. And for me, I would tell anybody to move on when you have understanding, when you have closure, and when you have learned the lessons from all of the trials, all of the tribulations, all of the tests that you have been through. And it's important that you go at that speed, because you're not on anybody else's time. You're not even on your own time. You're on God's time. And God doesn't want you just moving through life like certain things didn't happen. He wants you to pay attention to Him. He wants you to focus on Him and actually take the substance out of some of these situations, some of these experiences that you go through in life, so you can prosper. So just typically moving on, you need to forget over the past. That was when you was a child, that didn't happen, or it did happen, or X, Y, and Z. That's not going to be beneficial. You can only suppress some of these things for so long before you start acting like you never have actually gotten over it or gained understanding from it. And that's one of the most painful things, because if there's any kind of trauma, any kind of pain, any kind of heartache, any kind of protection that you have, given yourself just by not gaining a level of understanding and acknowledgement that certain things have happened in your life, many people will lash out later in their adulthood, lash out at the most unforeseen times, and they don't understand why. It's because you moved on and you didn't understand the course material from that lesson, but yet you try to advance to the next grade. So go at your own pace. When you feel like you're ready, you've gained enough knowledge, enough information, and enough wisdom from your situation, and then move on. Never keep continuously piling on trials, tribulations, without actually sitting back, taking some time to think, okay, what was I actually supposed to learn from this? Let me think about why I had to go through this test, this tribulation. When you do that, you'll be a lot more prosperous in your journey of life. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. If you would like to donate to the ministry to help feed the homeless, the less fortunate, women's shelters, the orphanages, and things like that, check out the link in the description, because I'm only shooting a gun barrel straight. Wow.